For question 1, it can be divided into 3 parts. The first part is the hardware configuration in the IA portal. First of all, we need to create a new project file. So I will create a new project. So after our project is already been created, we need to add some controller into it. So we need to configure a device and add new device. For the controllers, I will use the S7 1500 series. After we choose the type of CPU, we need to add it. So as we add the CPU, it will appear array like this. So we need to add the input, output, and also the power supply. For the input, I will use this input and add it into the slot number 2. For the output, I will add it into slot number 3 of the array. I will use the 16 channel output module for the output. We'll drag it into slot 3. After that, we need a power supply to make the CPU to function. For power supply, we need to put it at slot 0 right before the CPU. After we finish the configuration, we need to compile all the module. Okay, we already finished the compilation. So we will proceed to the next part. After we finish the hardware configuration, we will proceed with the next part, which is the PLC programming of the system. So we need to click this main block to create our PLC programming. As we click it, it will pop up the interface of the PLC programming. Firstly, we need to create the tag table for the project tree. So I will rename this tag table as water pumping system. Then we click it, and a table will appear so that we can fill in the input and the output. So I will assign both input and output. Firstly, I will assign as full low level switch. Second input is 10 low level switch. And the third input is 10 high level switch. Lastly, I will assign the output, which is the motor pump. So for the output, we need to change the operand identifier as Q and bit number to 0. So after we finish assignation of the tag table, we need to create the ladder diagram. So we go to the main, then we select SR flip-flop. So for SR flip-flop, we will assign as the motor pump. Then we use the normally placed contact switch for set. Okay, I will assign this as tank low level switch. Next, I will use the normally open contact switch for reset. For this one, I will assign it as tank high level switch. And for the last one, I will assign it as pull low level switch. Okay, we already finished the ladder diagram and also tech table. So we can be proceed to the next part. We need to simulate the PLC program. So we will start the simulation. So when you click the start simulation, the PLC sim window will show up like this. So we need to wait for a while. Okay. After that, we click the start search. So it will search for the target device. Then we load. So we load it again. So for the start module, we need to change the action into start module. Then we click finish. So after that, we need to click this monitoring. So when we click it, it will show the green line and also the blue line. The green line means the condition is true, while the blue line means the condition is false. After that, to set the input value based on our desired condition, we need to create a new table. So we go to the PLC window and click here, switch to project view. So this is the interface for the PLC sim. We need to wait for a while for the program to finish the loading. So after that, we need to create a new project. So click here, project, we'll put it as to simulation. Create. So after the project is created, it will show up like this. So we select the sim table, and from this sim table, change it to water pumping system. I need to click it. So it will appear a new text table like this. So we need to load the older text table from the previous part. So we will load it, and it will show up like this. Condition, we will set all the input value to 0. So when all the input is 0, the output value will also be 0, meaning that the water is not enough. So when we change the pool level to 1, the water pump will turn on. Next, when we change the pool level to 1 and also tank level to 1, it will show that the pump will turn on and the water flow will continue until it reaches tank level high. So as the water reach the tank high levels, the motor pump will turn off, meaning that the amount of water supply inside the tank is already sufficient enough. So when all the switch is active, the motor power will be inactive, meaning that the water is already sufficient for both tank and the pool. So that's all for question 1. Thank you.